That feeling of relief of being like, I've been putting this thing off and I've finally done it. If you need motivation to be productive and get stuff done, imagine what it will feel like when you've done that task that you've been putting off. You feel invincible. Hello, welcome. Today we are talking about how to be more productive and get things done. The first thing is to stop thinking about everything you have to do as like one long to-do list, and instead just pick one thing and gain some momentum. So just start taking action with one thing and you will very quickly see that it gets easier, because once you've started taking action, you then get in like a virtuous circle. It's easier to then move down your to-do list. You've got momentum, and this doesn't matter if you pick like the easiest thing on your to-do list or one of the most challenging. Like, pick whatever suits you. You might like want to get something checked off, or you might feel like that's cheating if you're picking the easiest one, so you might want to tackle the most difficult thing first. Just start, because then you get some momentum. Basically, the idea is to stop waiting for the motivation to take action, because it's great if you're feeling motivated to do something, but sometimes the motivation may never come. I will often find that I'm motivated to do things that are creative, like making videos or doing writing, making thumbnails on Canva. Like, I find all of that really fun, creative work interesting. But, you know, I'm not necessarily always going to feel motivated to, for example, clean the bathroom. That's something that still needs doing, the same way as I need to make thumbnails for my videos, but I'm probably not going to feel as motivated to clean the bathroom as I am to do something creative that I'm actually going to enjoy. So you can't always rely on motivation. Even though I do love doing those creative things, sometimes I'm still like, you know what, I would prefer to like watch an episode of TV, or I'd prefer to go for a walk than to make a thumbnail or to do some editing. But I just know if I just get started, even if I say I'm going to put a timer on for 20 minutes, this is another thing you could do. Whatever task that you're like procrastinating or you're struggling to do, put a timer on and be like, okay, we'll just start. I'm just going to do 10 minutes of this, and if it's really terrible and if I really don't want to do it, then I'll stop. But you will find that once you've done that 10 minutes, you're like, oh, I'm into it now. Like, I'm here and I'm cleaning up, or I'm walking now. We're going for a walk. I didn't want to go for a walk, but we're out and we're going for a walk now. I find this with editing sometimes. I can put it off, and I don't know why, because I do actually enjoy it once I get started. But if I put a 20-minute timer on, I'm like, fine, we'll just do 20 minutes of editing. Sometimes that timer goes off and I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Let's go do some reading or do something else. But a lot of the time I'm like, I'm into this now. I've got momentum. I'm going. I want to keep going. It's the same with like cleaning. Sometimes you do need something to motivate you. Like if I see a spider, or like yesterday I was trying to put away some clothes in my dresser and accidentally one of my socks got kicked behind the dresser, and I was like, oh no. I wish I'd filmed it, because I knew it was going to be so dusty behind this dresser, because it has my mirror on top of it, so I rarely move it. It's one of these things that you clean like every season, as opposed to doing like every single time you clean, because I have to move the mirror and then I've got to move the dresser back from the wall. So I probably did it in January when I did a deep clean of my room for the new year. I was actually quite scared because, wait, I think there's a spider on my... 1 second. It is a spider. What am I going to do? I actually managed to get rid of that myself. My socks fell under the dresser. I was like, I can either leave them there and like say goodbye to them forever. The reason I didn't want to move it was because I was scared there would be like a massive spider under there, and there wasn't, or if there was, it hid very quickly, but it was incredibly dusty. There was actually something quite satisfying about moving the dresser back, seeing all of the dust, and then having the hoover and just like hoovering it all. And I was like, wow, I really should have taken a picture of it beforehand, because it was absolutely filthy, like ridiculously dusty. But I wouldn't have done that except for the fact that my socks went underneath, and I was like, it's going to bug me if I just leave this and do it another day. So I was like, let's go. So that was like the motivation to do this deep clean unexpectedly. But when I did that, I felt so accomplished. So this is like your sign. If you are looking to be more productive and to get more stuff done, yes, do anything and like just take action and you will build momentum. But if you can pick a task, particularly that you've been putting off, or that you are not dreading, but like I said, I was like worried there would be a big spider behind the dresser, and I was like, oh no, but I was like, no, we're just doing it. We're on a rescue mission to save these socks. It took me probably 15 minutes in total to like move the mirror, move the dresser back, move it all around, make sure I cleaned every part. 15 minutes. But the rest of the day I was like, I'm invincible. I just did this task that I had been dreading. I've done the same thing where I've got underbed storage, which gets quite dusty. Well, it doesn't, because now I clean it every time. But there was this one time where I was putting it off, and I knew I needed to clean it because it had been a while, and I was like, oh, I really don't want to. And I did. And yeah, it was dusty, but then like the rest of the day I sat around and I kept feeling like I had this thing hanging over me because I was like, oh, I need to clean. Like I'd got so used to procrastinating it. I'd done it and I was like, no, you've got nothing to do. Like we don't have to worry about that at all. It's already done. And that feeling of relief of being like, oh yes, I've been putting this thing off and I've finally done it. If you need motivation to be productive and get stuff done, imagine what it will feel like when you've done that task that you've been putting off. It's this huge relief, and yeah, like I said, you feel invincible. You're like, okay, what am I doing next? And that's where the momentum comes in. I think also like filming videos, I can put that off sometimes. I mean, I'm sort of on a roll now, but again, that comes from building momentum. So like if you want to get like hyped, I would put a few songs on, like put a playlist on, put your music on loud, like dance around, get like a little bit hyped and like energized and be like, yes, now we are going to tackle this thing that I've been putting off. Let's go. And it works. That is the first thing in terms of being productive and getting stuff done. This is The Little Things, a series to help you notice and appreciate the little things. And yes, today we are talking about being productive. So normally in this series, I go through 3 little things that may seem really small or insignificant, but the point of this series is to encourage you to notice and appreciate the little things, because the little things do make a big difference. So the first one there that we talked about was momentum. The second thing I want to talk about is getting organized. So this is all around the theme, remember, of being productive, getting stuff done. So we are now going into a new season, back to school season as well. You may be associating this time with planning, with new goals. I've got a video about how to achieve your 2024 goals before the end of the year, so I will link that if you want to check that out. That will be in the description and in the cards. It is the season to be planning, so you may have been like me, seized by this impulse to like do some planning, really look at your goals, get specific with them. I've done this through making a spreadsheet for my YouTube videos, and I'm really enjoying ticking off each column. Like I feel motivated to do something every day, whether it's outline a new video, make a thumbnail, edit, film, schedule a video, do all of the description and all of the like pre-publishing stuff. I feel motivated to do each of these things because I have like categories on my spreadsheet for them, and I want to tick something off. Like I want to get the gold star and be like, yes, okay, I can now highlight this row green because everything is done. I can highlight this row yellow because the video is scheduled and ready to go. Getting organized is going to help you be more productive, and that's like such an obvious thing, but we're talking about like specific things that have helped me, the little things, because they will help you too. It's really important to have some kind of structure or some kind of routine. I know we can like resist having routines, at least I can, because I'm like, I don't want that structure. I don't want to feel like I have to do a certain thing at a certain time. But if you can find some way of organizing your time which is flexible enough that allows you to do other things, that's really the ideal thing. And we're going to talk a bit about balance a little bit later, but like for example, if my thing that I've been trying to be more productive with successfully is filming and sorting out my YouTube videos, one of the things that I have made sure that I do, you can see here, they're hot. Oh dear, I'm charging my batteries. So I've been filming this afternoon, my batteries were depleted, so I'm recharging them, and just something small like that, of like being on top of things and being like, I want to make sure the next time that I put my camera on, these spare batteries are ready to go. Something small like that has a disproportionate effect and makes me feel really accomplished and really on top of things. So it doesn't have to be this big plan. You don't have to have like this really elaborate routine. It could just be the small things of like ticking something off on a spreadsheet, or having, if you don't want to do things digitally, making a table and like ticking things off on there. Keeping organized by like charging things. The small things have a disproportionate impact, I find. And that's what this series is all about, the little things. It just feels good to be organized. And so if you're like trying to get to a place where you are more organized, the same thing with like being motivated and having momentum. Oh my gosh. Did you see that? My glasses are broken. One sec. I need to get new glasses because that keeps happening. The lens keeps falling out. Like at the moment, I have 2 videos scheduled on my YouTube channel, and that feels such a weight lifted because I'm like, oh, I'm ahead of things. Like I'm doing well. I'm on top of things. I'm organized. This feeling of it being organized, if you're not there yet, just like project of what it would be like, how you would feel. Let that motivate you. And even if you just treat it as like a little experiment, so just be like, okay, I have not been so organized with this thing. You've not been so organized with this thing, but you're gonna try just for a week. So you're gonna say, I'm gonna wake up half an hour earlier, or I'm going to try using this spreadsheet to track whatever goals you have. I'm going to try this for a week, and just try it for a week and see if it makes a difference. If it does, great, you're now on board. And if it doesn't, you can then try something different. The point is to do something. Don't just be like sitting back waiting for the right time or for the motivation to do things, because as we discussed, you need to take action first and then the momentum comes afterwards. The motivation is following you taking the action instead of it being the other way around. I did mention balance briefly there. That is the next little thing that I wanted to talk about. And I think this ties in with productivity because I've shied away from talking about productive things on my channel. Maybe I've done one video about like not procrastinating, but I really hesitate to talk about being productive because as much as it's great to do things and to like be organized, tick off things from your to-do list, that's all great, but I don't think that we should always be getting our value from what we do. And so the idea of being productive, to me, it's like associated with this thing of shaming people who don't work hard or shaming people who don't work. I don't buy into that because I don't think you're better than anyone else just because you're like productive. Like just because you wake up at 6 a.m. or just because you have whatever career, that doesn't mean you're better than anyone else. So I kind of shy away from productivity, particularly the way people talk about it online. It's like an aesthetic, and I'm just wary of anything that's like glamorizing work or that's saying that your value or that your worth is determined by what you produce. It is antithetical to everything I stand for as a person. But I guess I may be in the minority. I don't know. In terms of the way I view productivity, it's also the way that I view respect. Like it seems like a lot of people will be respectful of someone because of their position or because of their authority. And I'm like, I'm not going to respect someone just because of like the fact that they have a certain job title. I'm going to respect them if they're a respectable person, if they have integrity, if they treat people around them kindly. Like, I don't care if you're the King of England, if you're not kind to the people around you, you don't deserve respect. And I feel like sometimes that maybe people view that the wrong way. To me, that makes a lot of sense. Like, that's just the way I am. But some people are like, oh, they get quite uppity about things. So I've hesitated to talk about productivity on my channel, and I'm talking about taking things slow and balance as the last little thing in this video, because I want to stress, yes, this is a video about productivity and about getting things done, but that doesn't have to come at a cost to everything else. So in terms of balance here, what I'm talking about, the little things I'm talking about here are, today I had a good mix of working hard and also taking things slow. I had a really slow morning, got up at like a reasonable time, did some editing, had a nice breakfast. I then sat on the couch with my dog for like an hour and read my book, and then I did some more editing. But it was just like this very go with the flow, slow kind of morning. And part of me felt guilty about that. But guess what? That didn't define my whole day, and I've still been able to be productive and do a lot of things. I filmed now 4 videos. I filmed 3 videos earlier. This is the 4th one. I've edited one whole video and scheduled it, done some other stuff for work. I did like a food order. I have been productive today, but I have also had a really slow morning, which wasn't defined by what I did, but just by like the feelings that I had of like being in the moment, just like sitting, watching my dog for a bit, reading my book for a bit, scrolling on my laptop, sorting out my food order, sort of lazing around doing nothing, and then switching into work mode and getting quite a lot of stuff done that I needed to get done. It's not like an all or nothing thing. You don't have to be like in this go, go, go productive mode all the time. There can be balance, and you can still get things done while also being lazy, taking things slowly and just seeing where the day goes. And just like this morning, I didn't really have a plan. I knew I needed to film videos at some point, but I was like, I can do that whenever, right? If I want to do that in the morning, I can do that. Or in the afternoon, I can do that. And now in the evening, I wasn't even planning on filming this video, but I'm capitalizing on the momentum and the idea that I had and not overthinking, which is a whole other topic and also really important. Being organized, like we talked about, and capitalizing on your momentum, like we also talked about, makes it easier to have balance because it means you can get stuff done, but you also don't have to go overboard and work so much to overcompensate for like your procrastination. It can be like, okay, I'm taking action, I've got my momentum, I'm organized, I've done the stuff I need to do, and also I have space in this day to chill and do nothing and to scroll or to read or to go for a walk or to sit outside or to be with my family. Being organized gives you the space to have that balance, and I think that balance is vitally important. It's important to have time to do nothing. I think it's important to be bored sometimes. You can get creative through those times of boredom. You're like, okay, what can I do? Oh, let's like go play piano, let's do a puzzle, I'll go tidy up the bathroom, let me reorganize my bookshelves. Like, I think boredom is such a necessary thing, and we can treat it as, like my granny would say, nice girls are never bored. And I think that's more like, leave me alone, don't talk about your feelings kind of, I don't want to know, just like go over there and don't bother me kind of thing. I think it's really important to be bored sometimes, but I guess as well, in a society that's valuing productivity, we don't like to say that we're bored unless it's in the context of work, but it could then be like you're being lazy or you don't have enough stuff on, like you're not busy enough. Like busyness, it goes like hand in hand with this capitalist society that's like go all the time. And I'm like, no, the same way that I'm like rejecting this idea of just like respecting someone's title, I'm also going against this idea of productivity. And I'm like, I don't have to be go all the time, and it's okay if sometimes I'm lazy or sometimes I'm bored. I can have a slow start to my day, and I can take my time and not be productive, and I can also get what I need to get done. You don't have to have one or the other. You don't have to like stress yourself out or work so hard. The thing of work smart, not hard, right? Like give yourself the space to do both. Have balance. Give yourself the space to do nothing and also get done the stuff that you need to get done. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I will leave my Little Things playlist on the screen if you want to hear more episodes, hear more about the little things, how the little things can change your life, because really the little things can make a big difference. God bless. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.